just gluing some more paper to some cardstock here so that I can make some more of my own paper to punch. I am just having so much fun with this that I wanted to make some more. So that's what I'm doing. But this time, instead of using sheet music, I decided to use some antique book pages. So I just really enjoyed the process yesterday, and I just had a yearning to do some more. So this time I did use Mod Podge to glue down the book pages, and I'm using this old antique book that's really got some old pages in it. Okay, these are the hearts from the paper that I used yesterday, and I finished off these tags. This one says restored through Jesus. I just got some of my chalk ink and kind of colored the paper in the background a little bit, and then inked the edges just real lightly to kind of frame the whole tag. This one says I love you. Jesus is the way. And these are just some tiny words. Draw near the Lord. And so I still need to outline these with my white jelly roll pen. I used some of the fibers that Kendra had sent me, and the colors just go perfectly with the colors that I used in the paper, the paints that I used, and the stamps that I used, or the ink, the chalk ink. But these fibers that Kendra sent me, I love all of them. And if I ever am at the store and I find these particular colors, I think I'm going to have to buy the whole skein of ribbon. Is it a skein? I don't know. Is a whole thing of yarn called a skein? Can you guys help me out? Because because a whole package of paper is called a ream, but is a whole roll of yarn called a skein? Do I have that right? Anyways, but see how perfectly the colors, and these are typically the colors I use, but it's perfect. So I might have to go and buy a whole thing of this because it's just perfect. So I haven't decided if I want to outline the heart itself. I kind of think I don't want to. You know, sometimes in mixed media things get so crazy and wild, and it's just everything is so full and there's so much to it. But I sometimes just like to keep things simple, and I think this is just one of those projects that I want to be simple. I want the hearts to be the show here. I want those to be front and center in this project. I don't want it to get lost, so that's why I decided to just keep it this simple, and I like it. I really like it. So I made 6 of these, and I have 2 more to finish that I thought I would show you how I you know, did the ink. It's not hard, but I thought I would just show you just in case you were wondering. So I'm going to cut off my excess paper. And you could just leave it like this and punch your hearts out. I think that would be really cute. And then you have, you know, like a sturdy backing to it that would really help when you're punching. You know, you don't have to worry about it being sturdy or anything. It's already pretty sturdy for you. I kind of wanted to use some metallic-y paints, and I don't know, is this metallic? I guess these aren't metallic, but I'm just grabbing some paint out of here. Go with those and that, and then I need a purple. Okay, so these are all pretty dark, and that's okay because I'll probably still, you know, knock it back like I did before with white paint. And so I'm just gonna, really should shake these up. I forget. I try to remind myself to do it, but I do forget to. Because they do separate a little bit. These two are pretty close together, but that's okay. So this is the color palette that I wish this was a little bit more purple, but that's okay, that I tend to gravitate. Here is just basically, this brush is pretty much not in the best shape, but it's great for pouncing paint. So I am literally just dipping the tip of the fibers in the paint and just pouncing it. Now here I did try to brush it a little bit, but it wasn't quite the effect that I wanted. I didn't know what effect I wanted, but it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something different. So then I tried to just pounce it, and I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. So now I'm just pouncing. So now I'm doing my lightest color, which is yellow. And what's working out nice with this is, with the acrylic paint, is it dries so quickly that, see, like I can go over the yellow and it's not making mud. It's not dry in a lot of places, but since I'm not brushing it and I'm just kind of stippling this on here, kind of, you know, I'm not blending. It's just going right on top. It's not making mud, which is nice because it's just layering right on top. So it's not mixing in with the other colors and making mud. So the yellow is really showing up nicely, which I really like. Doesn't that look pretty? I really like it. So it's just another way to do it. It's not that I didn't. I love the paper I made yesterday, and I'm gonna do some more of that. I just wanted to try other things, and that's what this is all about, is just trying other ways to get other results. Like my paint is still really wet there, but I can still kind of pounce that into the paint, and it doesn't mix because I'm not blending the paints together. Okay, so I really, really like that a lot. So now I'm just gonna let that dry. So I just had extra paint and I didn't want to waste it, so I just put that stencil down. And did that, which, how cool is that, right? So I think I'll do another one of those. I think I'll lay my stencil down on this. Like that. I'm trying to use up this paint so that I don't waste it. Now this is one of those daubers that I got really cheap at Tuesday Mornings, but really you can use like one of those scrubby things that you can get at the grocery store and do the same thing. It works really well. Okay, so for this next layer, I'm going to take this one. This just looks like one of those natural sponges. It just happens to be on a handle, but you could definitely just buy a natural sponge and tear off a piece of it and get the same effect. So this is just the natural sponge. Okay, so let's go into the blue. I'm going to use the natural sponge again. And so I can use this paper for a background, which would be really nice to use on ATC backgrounds. I could punch it. I think I may, since it's made and I really, really like it, I might scan this into my computer so then the next time I want to use it, it's already made. I don't have to create the paper again. I can just print it off. And then that way what I can do is scan it into my computer, and if you guys want, you can print this and use it. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it's pretty cool. You know, if you want to use it for something, you're absolutely more than welcome to do so. I think it looks pretty darn cool. You know, you could add more to it if you want. It's like an already done background. So I've got that one. This one came out really cool. I like that one a lot. I'm not going to do any more to this one, but I'll scan that one in too. And then I've got this one, which this is all completely stuck down. Okay, so I've got those three. They should all be dry. That one, this one's not yet, but this one's completely dry. This one's completely dry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scan these into my computer this way so that I'll have them this way, but then I think I might go ahead and add some stamping to them just to see what I can get. So just so that I have them saved at this stage. And then these should be fairly easy to clean up. So this is scanned. So I'm going to go ahead and do my next step. I'm trying to figure out the direction I want my images. I think I'm just going to do them this way. I'm going to use our Lord's Prayer again in this magenta dye ink from Ranger. It's a little bit darker than I wanted it. So I just can't press as hard. There's that. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And I think I'm gonna take my little hearts here. Oh, I need my block. I think this would make beautiful ATCs, this paper. The thing is, I have all of my inks and stuff over on the big table because I was going to organize my inks and stamps, so that's why I have to keep getting up. This ink pad is the one I've been using to do the edges on my ATCs and my tags, because there's really not that much ink left on it. That's not bad. I wanted the lighter image anyways. So I'm good with that. I like it so much. You guys, there truly is just something about making your own paper. There really is. If you haven't tried it yet, I so hope that you give it a try. It is so rewarding. And then the thing is, when you scan it into your computer, like when I scan my jelly prints in, you can reuse it. So you don't have to go, you know, if there's something that you think that you're really gonna like, you don't have to try to recreate it. You know, if you have a hard time cutting it up because you really like it, or you're like, oh, I could use this for a couple of different things, what should I use it on? You don't have to worry about it because you can print it off and reuse it. Granted, it's not the original, but that's okay. You still have it and you can still use it for things. You know, I might save this original and down the road decide that I really want to use it for something special and just use my copied images, you know, or just keep the base, and then you can always, like, I could recreate this part of it. I could really attempt to recreate the whole thing. But as you see, it takes a lot of work to recreate. You know, there's quite a few steps. It's not a lot of work. But if you don't have to, and you're in a rush to make something, or there's just those days where you don't want to pull everything back out again, you can definitely just print it out, you know, and already have the base of it started for you. You know, if you have this copied in your computer but you feel like doing it again, you can always do it. There's nothing wrong either way. You know, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and run this through my scanner so that I'll have this design in there as well. It kind of looks like little bunches of flowers in the background is what it looks like to me. And since this ink in this pad is getting low, it kind of looks like gray. Okay, so one more half here. And then what I wanted to do, like this side looks pretty good, but like right here, I could put another little bit of the image. Get a little bit of ink on there where it's going off the page, just so that it looks, maybe I'll try to catch this one a little bit darker, and maybe this one. Look how cool that looks. Isn't that nice? Like it. These little bunches look like little flowers. So I'm going to stick this in my scanner. I'm going to scan it. Okay, and let's see what we can do with this guy. When I clean off my stamps, I just take a baby wipe. I did get some unscented baby wipes because I don't like the scent on the baby wipes. And I just wipe my stamp down to get it cleaned before I put it away. I just find that the easiest for me. I know some people put them in water or spray them down, but this just works the best for me. Push down the edges and stuff to get most of it off of there. Okay, that scanned really great too. I'm going to save it. I think that I didn't make a folder. I think it's just saving it in my documents. So I'm going to have to go back in here. Yep, it's just saving it in my documents. Okay, well that's okay. I'll make a folder for it after and just keep saving them like this. Okay. So for this one, since I have the words in there, I really don't need to add any more words, but I do want to add some. First of all, I did scan this one. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just grabbing randomly like a few of my favorite stamps. I really like this guy, and so I'm going to put him on here and stamp some of this. Let me get a color. Trying to think of a color that I don't already have on there. Let's do this dark berry. This is a chalk ink, and this is a dark berry color, and I'm not going real heavy-handed on this. I just want a few of the marks. I don't even care if I hit all of the marks. Just want a few of those on here. So on that side I'm going to do it this way, but see all of the ink that I've got on here? Really don't want to waste that. I don't think it did much. No, it did a little bit more. It did. You just gotta push harder. So I'm getting some of those marks on there. I just don't like to waste that ink. Okay. So we've got a few little darker marks on there. Then I think what I want to do is some butterflies on this. I put this on the wrong side. I use this butterfly a lot, so let's use a butterfly that I haven't used. I haven't used this guy. So now I just have to find my block. What do I do with my block? Here it is. So I'm going to put my butterfly on here. I think I want to make my, this is another old, I'm not going to use that because it's old and I don't think I'll get a good image. This is mudslide and this is an ink. This isn't chalk, this is an actual ink. And it's brown. Maybe I'll get two, there we go. Now the inks in chalk box are really sticky little things. See how sticky they are? Could almost pull up this whole block. So I think I'm just going to do all of my butterflies in mudslide. Him go off the page a little. Maybe we'll turn one completely, go in the opposite direction. Maybe have this guy go off the page. Maybe a tail there, tail there. Okay, so that looks pretty nice. And this guy off. And put him back. Okay, then I think if you're going to have a butterfly, you should probably have a flower. But I don't think I want a solid flower. I think I want that flower. I love that flower. Okay, so it's one of these American Craft ones that don't have the big lip on them. That's okay. Let's use, I want to use a blue or a purple. This is a purple. fine, fine line stamp. I think that's why I like it, because it's like a doodle. If you don't have these stamps, you can doodle some flowers on here. That would actually look quite nice, actually. So you can still see the book pages. You can overlap these. I'm really not, I'm just trying to find blank spaces. Where I need to fill in here. As little or as many as your little heart desires. You know why? Because it's all yours. The only person that matters with their opinion about what you create is you. Okay. So the flowers are really faint, but they're there. Okay, you can go back in with your butterflies if you want and just add some little marks to them. Just to, you know, bring some life into them if you want. It's not necessary, but I'm just adding some white dots to their bodies. I mean, it's not even that visible. You can make them bigger if you want them to show up more. But, you know, it adds a little something to them so that they don't look so brown. Do whatever you want. Gel pens would look pretty. Give it a little sparkle. You could just keep adding and keep adding. Like I've said before, you could go and go and go with these projects. You can add as much or as little as you want to these. These kinds of things are great if you're watching a movie or you're watching, you know, TV and you just want to sit with your family. Just take some markers with you and just doodle away on it. You could draw veins on these butterflies. I really can't make this one out, so I'm just gonna you don't have to use white. Use whatever you want. Okay, oh, one more here. I think I got them all. So there, see, now my butterfly has some little marks. It's not real visible, but they're there. All right, so I'm gonna scan him. unscanned. Put this one in the scanner. And let's see what we can do with this one. Now my buddy Sean sent me this, and I've been dying to use it. That scanned really good too. So let me save it. So that's 4 so far that I've scanned in that I will link to the bottom so that you guys, if you want them, you can download them and use them. This is kind of nice. It gives you little marks on here, but my paper I want to cover it. So I'm just going to go off a little bit here. Okay, so like I said, my friend Sean was so kind and sent me this stencil, and I've been dying to use it, so I'm going to use it on this. My desk is a mess. So I'm going to use this black cherry chalk box, or chalk color box chalk ink. It's in the color black cherry. And I am going to stencil these French words on here. I'm not going real dark with it. Just kind of pouncing the ink. They're real juicy when you first open them. Checking for coverage. That looks pretty good. Okay, put the lid back on that. I'm gonna get another piece of paper to try to get some of that ink off of there, but look how pretty that looks. I'll show you that in a minute, but let's get this onto another piece. You know what I'm going to do? Ooh, I used my spray bottle. Let me get another spray bottle. I'm just going to spray this to hopefully reactivate some of this chalk ink. Get a little bit of a reverse effect here. Oh, a little bit, you know. Take what you can get. Just color on paper, which works for me. I'm going to do one more just because there's so much ink on here. This is just water. I'm going to lay it back down. I'm not so much worried about smearing the words because obviously the words aren't staying white, you know? It's like not, I just want to get some of the color off of here so that I can use the ink. I'd rather it go on paper than in the garbage. Okay. So now I can turn this over. Spray that. Probably going to have to take this to the sink and use some water because this does have some little edges on it, so I don't want to scrub it real hard because I don't want to bend up the plastic. So I'm going to put it in some soapy water to clean it. Okay, so I'm going to set it aside. But I did get some good color off of them. And then this is the one that I stenciled it onto. Which this will make a fabulous background. I'll scan this one, but I'm not going to do any more to it because I'm going to use this for ATC backgrounds. Okay, so that one is scanned in. Let me scan this one in. These are going to have to dry because they're a little wet. These will make fabulous backgrounds as well. Okay, you guys, so, oh, I was going to show you how I finished off the tags. So these are the two tags. Make sure that's not real wet. These are the two tags that I have left to do. I made 6 of them. So all I did is, this isn't a really juicy color box chalk anymore. Actually, this was an ink because it's in a black. The chalks are in white bases and the inks are in black bases. But it's almost gone. So all I'm doing is lightly wiping this on here, just to give the tag a little bit of color to it. And then I took the edge and I left it pretty much flat to give the edge more color. Okay, so I'm going to go around the whole edge of this. I just want to come in a little bit. Go around the whole edge of this. Put as much or as little as you want. Then I just took my black ink I just went down the side. Not a lot. I just want to frame the sides of this. Okay, and so that's what I ended up with. So can you see the difference? How much better it looks. It just finishes it off. Okay, so let's do this one. Just lightly rubbing it. Put some color on there, then I'm going to go heavier on the edges. So I'm pushing pretty firmly. Because like I said, this is almost gone, but you can still get a lot of color on them, so don't toss them out, because you can use them for things like this and still get quite a bit of color out of them. You can go as heavy or as light as you want. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my black ink and just frame the tag. Put my lids back on everything. Okay, so that's what we've got. Now I'm using the fiber that Kendra sent me, and this one, like I said, just goes beautifully with the colors that I typically use. So I'm gonna have to try to find this. So I just kind of eyeball how, now it's gonna be half of this, so I cut it the length that, you know, approximately the length that I want. I cut it in half there. I fold them in half. There's two of them here. I cut these two in half. No, I messed up. Don't listen to my instruction. I cut it where I want it. What a goofball I am sometimes. I cut it in half. I fold it in half. I don't cut it. Okay, I get my loops, and then I'm going to stick my loops through the front. Pull them through, get my loops together, grab the ends, and just pull. And then you've got a tag. So let's do that again. I don't really ever measure. Okay, so I'm going to cut in half, fold in half, grab the middle, push my loops through the front of the hole, separate my loops. Sometimes that's the trickiest part. Push all four of my ends through, grab them and pull, and then I have strings on my tags. Okay, and then I'm done. And I'll sign the back. Most likely these will go into Happy Mail. And I've got the other four around here somewhere on my mess. And yeah, they're here. And so when people send me Happy Mail, I send Happy Mail back. And so those will go back to them. All right, so let's... Was I done? Okay, so I scanned all of those in. I will put the links to the papers that I made so that if you guys want to download them and do something with them, you're more than welcome. They're free. I'm not going to charge you for them. I love to share what I've done. So you'll be able to download this one before I stenciled and the stenciled one. This one before I stenciled and after I stenciled, and or after, before and after I stamped. I stamped on this one, and then you'll be able to do before and after I stamped on this one. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and as always, God bless. And don't forget, the links are below if you want to download these papers. God bless. Bye bye.